I mean, it's been 10 years of fifth wheeling and another 20 years of bumper pulls. We got to our recent spot, and we were actually caravan with a friend of ours. And I was parking first, and it was hot out, and we only had like an hour and a half drive, so it wasn't like I wasn't in a hurry, but I was blocking their way to get into their spot. So I'm like, I need to hurry up and get out of the way, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
And I almost dropped the trailer on the truck.
Oh.
Hey guys, and welcome to the RV Trash Talk podcast, where we dish on all things RV, full-time traveling, and RV maintenance. I'm Danny, one of the co-hosts of this crazy experiment. My wife Melissa and I, along with our great friends Rob and Trish and Jim and Amy, thought up this crazy idea sitting around a campfire drinking whiskey in Athens, Texas.
Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of RV Trash Talk. I'm Jim.
And I'm Amy.
And we're the Vagabonds, Jim and Amy, and we're joined by Danny and Melissa from Four Simple Lives and Rob and Trish from Living Like Nomads.
Hey.
Before we get started, I would like to know where everybody's at and what's in the glass, and we'll start with Danny and Melissa.
Woo!
That's
we
it.
are in Splash RV Resort in Milton, Florida for a YouTube family rally.
LJMJ.
And I'm drinking Jameson from Ireland.
And I'm drinking
Nice.
Tito's from Texas.
Austin, Texas.
I love it. I love it. All right,
that's
Rob and
awesome.
Trish, how about you guys?
All right. We are currently in Sundance West RV Resort in Apache Junction, and we are actually on our last couple days here. So kind of getting sad missing this place, but it's a good little park for sure. And as far as what's in the glass, I've got myself a little old-fashioned action working today. This is Costco old-fashioned, a little plug. Classic cocktail, Kirkland old-fashioned. Cheers.
Oh, those are so good.
Ooh,
They're really good.
And I've got 1921 cream tequila.
Nice.
Very nice. Very
Nice.
nice. Well,
Yeah,
Jim and
nice.
Amy, we are in Winter Haven, California, which probably hardly anybody listening knows where that's at because, I mean, there's only 3 of you out there.
Hey.
So Winter Haven, California is actually just to the west of Yuma, Arizona. So
Nice.
we're in Yuma, Arizona, and in my glass, I have just a nice, neat pour of Buffalo Trace.
Very
I've
nice.
got a Coke from Mexico.
A Mexican.
Ah,
all right.
classic.
Cheers, everybody.
Nice.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right, so
I like
circling
that.
back, last week we talked about RV-related apps and memberships that the 6 of us use. And Danny and Melissa, they had talked about RV Life, RV Trip Wizard in particularly, and they continually thank me for saying, hey, use this, because they were missing out. That's okay, though. And they were also talking about KOA and Harvest Hosts. And Rob and Trish, they talked about Campendium. That one's so hard for me to say for some reason.
Campendium.
Thank you. What she said. Good Sam's and also RV Life. And then myself and Amy, we talked about Thousand Trails, Escapees, and the Elks. So those are some of the memberships we use and some of the apps that we use to make our lifestyle work and easier for us.
Heck yeah.
This week's topic, we want to talk about pet care to deal with vaccinations and emergencies. Amy and I, we think she's about 10, 11-year-old pit mix, Labrador mix, however we want to really call it, depending on where we're at. Rescue
saying?
dog that we've had for about 5 years. And over the last couple months, we've had a couple of issues that we
What's her
needed to
name?
get tended to. Her name is Penny. Thanks, Rob, for that
Yeah.
reminder.
Hey!
She's over passed out on the couch.
Sweet
But so
Penny.
I got to thinking, it's like, okay, what do other people do just for their normal care, for their veterinary visits and stuff for their dogs? And I say dogs because the 6 of us, that's all we have is dogs. I don't know if you guys have ever traveled with cats or not. We have not, so we only know traveling with a dog. So with that said, Amy, what do we do? Or what have we done?
We've done Tractor Supply twice.
2 or 3 times, I
So
think.
Penny is on. It's called Simparica Trio. It's a mix of heartworm pills, fleas, and ticks. You got to be tested every year to renew this medicine to make sure they don't have heartworm. So Tractor Supply does these free clinics, and they do vaccines there also, which I think we did a couple vaccines the first time we went. But they'll test for that heartworm, and then you can get prescriptions through them. And it's nice because they just send your prescription to you right in the mail. And then you don't have to pay a vet visit or a vet fee, and it's worked out really great.
Well, I'm going to add on to the whole I'm going to add on to the Tractor Supply thing, because I didn't realize this until the last time we went, is that once your pet is in their system, it shows what they've been on, their last visit. So they have an actual record.
Yeah, they keep records.
So of what happened, 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever your last Tractor Supply visit was. But if you're going to use it, word to the wise, get there early. Usually they're on Saturdays, and the line is horrendous.
Yeah.
So it's worth standing and waiting 30 minutes to be number 1, 2, or 3 than it is to stand in line for an hour and a half. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
All right. What else?
And I feel the Tractor Supply, that's good for your maintenance part of your
absolutely.
pet. No, I wanted to talk about, we were here in Yuma. Penny's eyes had gotten all oopy and goopy and gross. And I didn't really want to take her to the vet because I'm like, is it just allergies, an eye thing? We got some cheap eye drops and it wasn't working. So I actually did a Tele-vet appointment through Vetster. And that was kind of cool. I went online and I filled out a form about what her symptoms were. And, they asked me a bunch of questions. And then I picked a time when a vet would call me. They called me. We did like a FaceTime chat. She looked at Penny's eyes. I just, held the phone up so she could see.
Wow.
And then she prescribed a prescription, and I sent it to Walmart, and we went and picked it up. Super easy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was really
That's
cool.
awesome.
I was very, very impressed with that whole system.
And it was fairly affordable. I think for the whole thing, for the vet visit and the call and the prescription was like just over $100.
Yeah.
So
And that was through what was the name of it again?
Yeah.
it was Vetster, so VETSTER.
.com?
Yeah, I believe so.
Sweet.
I just Googled Tele-vets and that came up. There was another one that had come up, Dutch, I think, and you had to do a monthly subscription to it. And I'm like, I don't want that. So the Vetster, you can do a monthly subscription to it also, but you can do just a one-time visit, and that's what I did. So
that's awesome.
Worked out great.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's definitely good to know. It's nice to know that they actually have telemeds for vets now. That's kind of cool.
I was pleasantly surprised. It worked out really, really well. And to piggyback on the maintenance a little bit with vaccinations and stuff, our first year on the road, we had came across a humane society, an animal shelter in Palm Springs, California, and they actually did a clinic, and they would do all your vaccinations there. And again, there was no vet visit fee; it was just vaccination fees, and that worked out really well too. So
they
a lot of
usually does that.
Societies do that.
So
they
wherever
do
you're
that.
at,
Usually it's like a weekend somewhere. They do it in a parking lot, using one of the big home centers or something like that. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just bring that up because as you're traveling, there are more resources than I thought were going to be available for our penny girls. So,
big time.
Anything to add, Amy?
Nope, I think that's
all right, Rob and Trish, what do you guys do?
So we've kind of lucked out. When we first went on the road, we were in Mesa. We got Moxley. We have a dog, Moxley. We call him a super mutt. He's a mix of everything. He's a cool dog. He's a little anxiety sometimes, but we ended up taking him locally to a vet, which was good. And then we just happened to be in our circle. We happen to get there every year around the same time. So it's good. And they send us a reminder all the time. But what I didn't realize, and after you guys were here and you went to Tractor Supply, there's a local shop right up the road called Shopper Supply is the name of it, not Tractor Supply, Shopper Supply. And a lot of them, they're mostly out west here, but they do the exact same thing. On Friday mornings, Saturday mornings, they have clinics that you can bring your cat, dog, all sorts of animals to, and they'll do the checkup and the wellness check and everything else right there. So it's definitely kind of cool. And
then for prescriptions and stuff, we just have made sure that they've written us one for the whole year, and we get it with us and just have it. Yep.
One of the things we do with Moxie when we travel is we have to put him on something called trazodone. Is that what it is? Trazodone? Anyway, it kind of mellows him out. But what we did, and the vet was nice, we asked for basically a year prescription for him. And they gave us 12 months worth, which is like 1,000 capsules, which he never even used.
Wow.
Lasting us years.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we do.
Okay.
But also one other thing we have, and I don't know if we talked about this last time, in the rig, we have like a monitoring thing for temperatures. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, I think a couple episodes ago. But we have something called Necto, and it's just a little, it's actually a cell phone enabled temperature sensor. It's temperature and humidity. So we have that in the rig, and if it gets I've got it set, if it gets above 85, it'll send us a text saying that the temperature is above. There's no monthly subscription or anything like that. It connects to as long as you have Wi-Fi or as long as you have cellular, it connects to cellular. So if we ever lose power in the rig, it's all run on. It's got a battery backup, so it can still send the text out through cell. So that's
nice.
Just another thing.
Yeah, I've heard about stuff like that. Like with one of them that I've heard of is Waggle. But I think that's a monthly subscription type of thing. And it's like, really?
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
And my understanding is that one keeps going up and up and up, and it's like,
yeah. And that's what I wanted to avoid. That I'm frugal.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. This lifestyle, you kind of have to be, even as hard as you work.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add, Rob and Trish?
No, it gets in on
that's
that.
it.
All right, Danny, Melissa.
So we have an Australian Shepherd named Sadie. She is almost 3 years old. Maybe she's 3 years old. She might be 4. I don't know. Almost 4. And she is a psycho. So she's a lot of fun to deal with on the road. But we love her so much. So sometimes. So we, I like to save Sadie's vet records on my phone so that I have access to them all the time. We were just in Key West and she had a huge allergic reaction to something there.
Huge. Yeah.
It covered her whole body, and she was absolutely miserable. So I took her to the vet, and they were actually able to give us some pills to help with her allergies, and it cleared up very quickly. Also, he gave us a couple of extra pills too, which we had to use them a couple of weeks ago in Georgia. So that has been really helpful. But I do make sure that we get her yearly shots every time we're kind of at our home base in South Florida. And then I just make sure she always gets her monthly meds, the heartworm and flea stuff on the first of the month. And I usually just set a reminder on my phone. If we're going to be in a place for an extended period of time, I just kind of scout out a vet beforehand just to make sure that if something does happen, I know exactly who to call as soon, if there's an emergency or anything like that. And so we're prepared in that aspect. And that's all I have to say about that.
Boom.
Very good. So everyone listen, so there are options out there. If that's one of your concerns about maybe hitting the road full time, is at least your dog. Again, we can't talk about our experiences with a cat or even a bird. And yes, there are people that travel with birds. We actually know somebody that travels with giant birds.
5 birds?
3 dogs. I mean,
geez.
Big parrots.
No. And a partridge in a pear tree.
Nicest people, but that's a lot of birds. Anyway, so yes, there are avenues and resources out there throughout the country to have your pets treated. So thanks for sharing what your experiences are and what you guys do.
Sure.
So in this week's segment of Oh Boy Moment.
Oh boy.
We do have a doozy. Well, I do have a doozy. It's been very, very recent. For the listeners out there, that don't know, we have a 2025 Brinkley G3250, which is a fifth wheel. We've had it for now, just 2 months, a little over 2 months now. I am not new to pulling trailers. I am not new to fifth wheels. This is our second fifth wheel. Our first one, this is our third fifth wheel. And I mean, it's been 10 years of fifth wheeling and another 20 years of bumper pulls. We got to our recent spot, and we were actually caravan with a friend of ours. And I was parking first, and it was hot out, and we only had like an hour and a half drive. So it wasn't like I wasn't in a hurry, but I was blocking their way to get into their spot. So I'm like, I need to hurry up and get out of the way, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
And I almost dropped the trailer on the truck. Oh, no. So this is how close I got to having a catastrophe. I parked the rig. I undid the hitch. I have a B&W companion, so I opened up the jaws. Well, the jaws didn't open. And I'm like, oh, they must be bound up a little bit. I'll pull the truck forward, just nudge it forward a little bit for the jaws to open. At about a foot and a half later, I realized that the trailer was following me, and I did not put the front landing gear down.
Oh no!
Oh boy! So yeah, there.
I don't know how it did.
I don't know either. Thank the good Lord above. I had wonderful people watching over me. Over
my
us.
gosh! That is like one of my biggest fears.
So. My whole point with sharing this story is no matter how seasoned you are,
yes,
take your time, pay attention. It doesn't matter if there's 100 people waiting behind you, they'll get there. Do your job, do it right the first time, and avoid any kind of catastrophe.
People also RVers also know that you need to take your time. You need to make sure you're checking all your boxes and paying attention. So you might think you need to rush, but in all reality, you do not need to rush. And everybody understands what's going on as well.
Right. And I don't want the listeners to feel that I felt like I was rushed at all. I didn't feel rushed. I felt like I was kind of maybe a little bit in a hurry, to maybe get out of the ways. I mean, it was hot. And, so that they can get parked. So it's like, all right, let's try to expedite. I don't want to say I was rushed, but maybe I was trying to expedite a little bit. But it was.
That's one thing too. Like when people, and this is just a general thing. If people are getting ready to leave, or they're just getting there and getting everything unhooked, like let them do their thing. Don't go over and introduce yourself. That's not the time to say hi and hey neighbor and be all neighborly and stuff. Let them get done and do it.
Orlando,
because there's always so much stuff to do, and like you have one little mistake and like it's big time, and it's not a cheap mistake either.
No, not usually. No. So I'm very, very thankful, and to add on to that a little bit, one of the things I almost always do, other than this one time, is that I always treat my moves like it's the first time I'm ever moving my trailer.
Yeah.
I'm just so afraid of something happening or me forgetting something. I'll walk my rig 3, 4, 5 times before I even move.
Oh yeah.
Why I did that the other day when I parked it, I don't know. Again, I'm just thankful nothing horrible happened.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know it's whenever we park, I'm usually. Or when we're leaving or arriving, usually we both kind of do a walk around, and he's doing stuff. It's like always yelling out the double check, like just to make sure, hey, you sure you did this right? You did this right? Like, because just little things like, not putting the pin in or just something could lead to something like that. That is one of my biggest fears is exactly what almost happened to you.
I had a customer, this has been going on for a couple weeks now, but he called me over because he just bought a toy hauler from somebody here in the park, right? It's a really nice rig, a nice Forest River. Apparently the people hit either a tree or an underpass, because the way the toy hauler is, it's got a ladder that goes up on the side, and on the top it has basically a grab ladder. It's a little mini ladder with one thing. So they hit something, and that whole thing part of it got ripped off the roof, and the other part was basically just bent. So they wanted me to fix it. So I go over there and ask him what happened. And he's like, "Oh yeah, and while you're at it, can you somehow patch the little crack in the side of the fiberglass on the side of the rig?" So I fixed the one thing, right? I got a new ladder, fixed that, and I'm talking to him about it. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not like normal. We happen to have the same thing, and it was caused by frame flex.
Yeah.
Right. So I was telling him about it. So we started looking, and you couldn't really see anything from the inside. So we went inside the rig and we started looking around, and I'm asking him a couple questions. Like, do your doors all shut right? And the bedroom door wasn't shutting right. So we go into the closet. They have a closet, or I'm sorry, cabinets up against the cap. We open up the door of the cabinet, and inside the cabinet it's off about 1.5 inches from where the cabinet should be to where the cap is. There's 1.5 inch gap on the side. And,
oh my gosh!
And they were beside themselves because they just bought this thing from somebody else here in the park. I was like, did you get like an inspection or anything? They're like, no, we didn't get an inspection. The lady said everything was okay. I'm like, yeah. So after showing them kind of what was going on, we had the same issue with our rig. There was a company right down the road that fixes it. So I talked to them about it. They brought it down there to get a quote on it. And it was $20,000 out of their pocket to get this thing fixed.
Wow!
So
had
he had it inspected, right, for $800 to let's call it $1,000.
$1,000 easy, yeah.
Yeah, he gets to walk away from that friggin' money pit.
Cheap
and now
insurance.
it's like it's that, and then he just texted me this morning. He's having an issue with the inverter now and a couple other things, and they've already left. So I was like, I can't even help you, but
So everybody listening, I mean if you're looking at a user, I mean even new rigs, spend that $800, the $1,500, and hire an actual RV inspector and have that RV inspected. You know, you might be saving yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of money.
Yep, I had another call this week. It was a Tiffin, right? It was a Tiffin bus. I'm gonna say it's probably $600,000 to $750,000 bus, right? The whole water manifold was leaking. Every connection on there was leaking.
And it's new.
And it's brand new, right? This is where it gets even better. She goes on a trip with her neighbor. They go pick up a brand new, I don't remember the name of the rig, but it was $2 million for this rig.
Probably a Prevo.
It might have been. But they get it, right? On the way here, the door won't latch right. So the door is just basically flopping open, right? So they have it tied up with a dog leash, right? The toilet bowl starts leaking and then overflows. The refrigerator handle ripped off.
Oh my gosh!
And this is a $2 million rig,
brand new,
spanking new, right off the lot. Wow. And I asked them, I said, "Did you get this thing inspected?" They're like, "Nah, we figured for this price it should be fine." So that just goes to show you, like. It does not matter the price point. Spend the extra money and get it inspected. It'll save you. Sure. It'll save you. And not only that, after you get inspected, don't friggin' walk off that lot without that stuff being fixed. Because they'll tell you they'll fix it.
They'll sign the paperwork until that stuff is fixed.
100%. Yep.
For sure. Wow. Very crazy.
Scary.
Yep.
Unbelievable. All right. So I know. So for the new listeners out there, Danny and Rob and myself, we're all RV techs. One of us is a very lazy, doesn't do very much except for himself and friends are type of RV tech, and that would be yours truly. And I'm okay with that. Rob, he's been killing it where they spent the winter at. And Danny, he's starting to get some stuff in too. I know I got a phone call from him, and I think Rob did too, about a recent job. But any RV repair or issues that either one of you guys want to share?
So I just had one here. A guy called me, pulled up to the RV park here for the rally, and his slide, when they left the night before, one side of his slide wouldn't close. He couldn't get it closed. Yeah, it's a Swintech Lippert motor Swintech part.
Get rid of the Swintech.
Yeah.
So I go check it out, and I'm diagnosing the motor, and I get the voltmeter on it, and the Swintech or the Lippert Swintech motors, they should be like running at 12 volts, and it depends on if you're going in or out. If you're going in or out, it's 3 to 4 amps or 5 to 6 amps, and he's at like 4 volts and like less than an amp. So I knew right away his motor shot. So luckily I found one here. So I get a new one the next day, and I go over there, and I am there for 4 hours trying to seat this motor into this Swintech piece of crap setup.
The kids and I were at the pool.
Well, it turns out that It turns out it's a 2021 Grand Design Momentum. He just bought it 5-6 months ago. It's a 44-foot Momentum toy hauler. More than likely has some type of frame flex in it. So I could get the motor, almost in. It was like right there. Well, I couldn't get the set screw from the outside in because the hole was so wallered out where the old motor just shredded. There's no threads at all. So I'm trying different sizes of screws. Can't get it to set. And the danger of that, as soon as that screw comes out, that whole motor can pop up and spin, and then it rips all your wires. Your Hall switch will rip out. So I tried everything. I stopped at drilling a bigger hole because I didn't want to cause the guy, more money if he had to get his whole H column replaced or something. So I pulled it all out. I tried to get the best pictures I could, and I think we've determined that his bearing block is probably twisted from that frame flex that he has not had confirmed yet because that motor just won't sit right. So I actually talked to you guys, my mentors, and then I called a guy locally here, and he was like, oh, I would never put a screw in that. These guys need their whole slide probably rebuilt. So it's unfortunate because they're a full-time family, and they're here for a week, and they're traveling continuously, but he wanted me to throw a bigger screw in that hole, but I was like, look, if I do this and I screw up your H column or something else, I don't want to put you guys in a worse spot than you are. So luckily I made some calls and we found a place in, I think, North Carolina where they'll be in a week or two. So hopefully they'll take it care of. But when you watch Lippert training videos for owners out there, it tells you put that motor in 15 minutes. Well, they don't show you the warehouse they're in with just a slide on the ground and endless amount of room to work. It's unbelievable.
Well, and again, especially if you catch it on some of the sides where you only have 2 inches of work between that and the fascia. I mean, it's like you're working with a half a hand. Yeah,
it's a pain. And this was a bedroom slide, and there's not much room in those bedroom slides to get to those motors. And that just kind of reiterates what Rob was talking about, and what we've talked about here a couple of times now is get yourself an inspection. Danny said that this family has only had that RV for about 6 months, and I'll bet you a dozen donuts that they did not pay for an inspection. And if they would have had an inspection, I bet you a lot of things would have been identified in that, and they wouldn't be going through these heartaches right now.
Oh, yeah.
Preach it, Jim. Preach it.
No inspection, and it's just a rolling hunk of junk.
Now, granted, I've never paid for an RV inspection, but I mean, I'm kind of handy. And I know a thing or two about RVs, and now I'm a tech. I mean, I grew up around RVs, so I love them. I love figuring out the problems when there is a problem. But an RV inspection can, especially, I don't want to say especially, but an RV inspection can go a long ways if you don't have the time, the resources, or even the know-how to fix a lot of the things that you're going to inherit, even on a new rig. So
for sure,
but. So all right, cool. Thanks for sharing that, you guys. And we're going to close this out with Amy's quote for this episode.
Well, I'm going to do this one because I like to be with all of you guys. We're going to say, spend your life doing strange things with weird people.
Yes.
Amen.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will look forward to hearing from everybody and sharing our experiences again next week.
Hope you guys enjoyed this RV Trash Talk podcast. Please subscribe and join us as we navigate this crazy full-time RV lifestyle.